Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully everyone is doing great. So today I am continuing on with the top 5 series, if you want to call it. If you haven't already watched the previous top 5 videos, make sure to watch them. And in this video I am picking my top 5 exercises for the shoulders. And before I move on with my top 5 exercises, make sure to like, share, subscribe and comment down your favorite exercises for shoulders also. So yes, let's get into my top 5 exercises for the shoulders. So starting off with exercise 1, which is the overhead press. Either it can be barbell press or dumbbell press. I personally prefer dumbbell press over the barbell press, mainly because I can target both shoulders evenly. Dumbbell press, there's a better movement for your shoulders, so there's less chance of injury on your shoulders. That's one of the reasons why I choose dumbbell over the barbell. Most of the times when I do barbell, something always happens to my shoulders. I either hurt it somehow or it just doesn't feel right. But of course I like to include it here and there. And with the dumbbell presses, I like to do seated instead of standing. With the seated, I can keep my body in one position, so I'm not really cheating the weight in any way. And the great thing with the dumbbell press is if you have any type of injury or just impingement in your shoulder, you can adjust your grip and your shoulder placement so that it doesn't really hurt it as much or makes it easier for your shoulder. And one tip for the dumbbell press, make sure that your arm is always a bit in front of you, not too much to the side. And when your arm is completely to the side, that's usually when people tend to get injuries, as I have also got plenty of times injuries on my shoulders when I have it to the side. That's why I like to keep it a bit more in front of me. So yes, that was exercise number 1. Moving on to exercise number 2, which is the cable lateral raise. One thing I like to keep in mind when I train shoulders is my main focus is always the lateral head of my shoulders. Mainly because to get that width on your shoulders, that's what gives you that wide look. So cable lateral raises, I prefer cable lateral raises over any other lateral raise movements. Mainly because with the cables, there's constant tension on your shoulder from the beginning all the way to the end of the exercise. So you can really isolate that lateral head. And another thing I like to do is, instead of using a regular handle, one arm handle while doing the lateral raises, and this basically helps me focus more on my lateral head by kind of removing the tendency to use your arm instead of your shoulders while doing the lateral raise. So it makes it much more difficult. So I highly suggest you trying that out. It can be kind of awkward in the beginning, but once you get used to it, it helps. It's way better than using a normal single arm grip or single hand grip, whatever you call it. Moving on to exercise 3, which is another lateral raise exercise, but this time with dumbbells. Now, I do prefer cables over dumbbells, but I always incorporate dumbbells also into my workouts. Mainly to go a bit heavier. With the cable lateral raises, I go lighter, so mainly to isolate and keep that mind muscle connection on my lateral head. But with the dumbbells, I go a bit heavier so that my shoulders don't get used to one type of exercise and it has more weight put onto them. Not only, a couple kg while doing the lateral raises on the cables. But with the dumbbells, I always go heavier. So, you can shock the shoulders a bit by once in a while going heavier and lighter. Both work. And one tip I would give for the cable lateral raises and the dumbbell lateral raises is you should try to keep your arm a bit more in front of you, not too much to the side. Because when you keep your arm more to the side, it targets more of your front delt. But when it's a bit more in front of you, and with your pinky up, you can target more of that lateral raise. So I highly suggest doing that, keeping your arm a bit more in front of you. And again, it is a lateral raise exercise, so the whole focus is to try and get them shoulders wider. Yeah, nothing crazy to explain about the lateral raises, quite straightforward. Moving on with exercise number 4, which is the reverse fly. And there's many options you can use for this. You can use cables, you can use machine reverse fly, or you can use dumbbells. I personally prefer cables. Again, there's constant tension all the way from the beginning to the end of the exercise. I mean, same with the machine reverse fly, there's constant tension. Now, why I prefer reverse flies over other rear delt exercises, mainly because with the reverse fly, I can properly isolate the rear delt. Whereas, for example, if I also do dumbbell or barbell pulls, There's a lot of your back incorporated in the exercise, not only the rear delt. With the reverse flies, you can properly target that rear delt. And also one thing to keep in mind with the reverse flies is to really get your form on point, because if you don't, then you risk targeting a lot of your traps or your upper back while doing them. Another reason why I like this rear delt movement is, and other rear delt movements also, is because my rear delts are kind of lacking compared to my other shoulder parts, whether it be my front delt or lateral head. And this is quite a common thing with many lifters. The rear delts are always kind of lacking. And not only does the rear delts make your physique look better, but also is good for your posture and for your rotator cuffs also. So yes, that was exercise number 4. Moving on to the last exercise, which is exercise 5. And this time we have face pulls. Face pulls are great for your rear delts. It's great for your rotator cuff. Great for your upper back also, because it also targets the traps and your upper back. In general, this exercise is great for your shoulder health. If you have shoulder issues, if you have weak shoulders, if your posture is bad, always make sure to incorporate face pulls. It's great for your rear delts, gets your posture better, and strengthens your rotator cuffs. I have to say, out of all these exercises, the face pulls, I try to incorporate it as often as possible, mainly because I always have shoulder issues, as I currently am having for quite a few months. My shoulders have been feeling quite weak and I've been having this kind of annoying pain. So I've been incorporating face pulls quite a lot to strengthen those rotator cuffs and get them rear delts looking better. And one thing to keep in mind when you're doing face pulls is that you don't pull with your arms, but you pull with your shoulders. So when you're pulling them, make sure to pull with your shoulders towards your face, or like, I would say towards your forehead, and keeping it a bit more wide. You don't want to be pulling with your arm too much, but mainly your shoulders, so that you're actually targeting that rotator cuff and your rear delts. And as a bonus exercise, I wanted to add cable front raises to the list. I usually do it with a rope. This is one of the mistakes that I've been doing for quite some time, is neglecting my front delts. I had the mindset of, because I'm doing chest or I'm doing push days, that my front delt is also getting targeted, which is true. Your front delts do get targeted while doing any type of chest chest exercise, or pushing movements. But it's also good to do exercises that specifically target your front delts. That was my top 5 exercises for the shoulder. Will it stay the same? I don't know. Most likely in the future it might change, might not. But currently these are what I like to put in my shoulder days, push days. So yes, that was the top 5 exercises for the shoulders. And make sure to like, share, subscribe, and also comment down below which are your favorite shoulder exercises. And again, thank you for watching. See you guys next time.